talk about commitment, the secret power of commitment. Does commitment have some secret, some power that we need to become aware of? So let's uncover what the secret power of commitment is. About 2.5 weeks ago, I created a video, and in that video, I shared openly about my financial situation. And at that stage, I had $1.5 in my bank account. And I mentioned, why did I actually mention that? The reason was that most people, it's very easy when you've suffered and you come through your suffering, and let's just take money as an example, because we all need money and we need money to have a good quality life. But it's very easy if you've got $1 million or lots of money in the bank account and you've come through your suffering, and then you create a video sharing your story of how you overcame it, which I agree is very important. But it's also good to hear when people are suffering and how they're handling that suffering. So I had $1.5 in my bank account 3.5 weeks ago, and I wanted to share how I cope. How do I stay positive, knowing that I've got no money in my bank account? And at that point, that's what I wanted to show people, that no matter what I'm going through, I'm still positive. I'm still excited about my future, and I don't allow my circumstances to affect me. Sometimes it does affect me, but generally I'm positive, and that's what I wanted to point out. So at that point, by sharing that video, the end of the month was approaching, and about a week ago, the end of the month was approaching. It was about 3 days towards the end of the month, and I was a little bit concerned, because I thought, if I don't have any money by the end of the month, I'm not going to be able to pay my mobile phone bill, and I'm certainly not going to be able to pay my fiber bill, which means I won't have an internet connection. Now, about 3 weeks ago, I met a lady on Facebook, wonderful person, very, very much into spirituality, and we started chatting, and she was just sharing with me, how a lot of wonderful synchronistic events have been happening in her life. And she said to me that what she does is that she gets into a state, a nice, calm, peaceful state, where she's in the flow state. And then all she does, she visualizes what she wants to achieve. And then I remember her words very clearly. She said to me that she trusts and allows the process to take its place, take its course. And those words really went into my inner being. I remember those words. So when there were a few days left to the end of the month and I didn't have any income, I made a clear decision. I said, what is the worst that's going to happen? The worst that can happen is my internet connection will be cut off. I won't be able to make any calls, etc. And all that I'll do, because I knew I had some money coming in round about the 8th of the month, which was just enough to pay my phone bill, etc. But I thought, what, if my phone gets cut off in the internet connection, so all I'll do for 5 days, I'll be quiet and I'll just work on trying to finish my book, which I also want to get done. So I really came to a place in my inner being where I knew that I'm totally committed to my goals, and that I want to help people to access their inner essence and to take control of their life. And I just made a decision. That's fine. I came to a peaceful place in myself. I said, whatever's going to happen will be. If my phone gets cut off, so be it. And I just relaxed, and I came to a place of acceptance in that moment. And my friend that I met, she told me that a while back, that she had the number 55 coming into her consciousness quite a while, on an ongoing basis, for a couple of days. And one day she went into a food store to buy some food, and she got to the counter to pay, and she saw that a couple that were just in front of her, she could see that they were battling. They were deciding whether they should take all of the stuff that they had put on the counter, and she could see that they were battling financially uh, to whether they could really pay for this. So she made a decision there and then. She just said to him, look, I'd like to pay for your groceries. And she paid for their groceries. And she said to me that 2 days later, she was actually on her way overseas, and 2 days later, before the trip, she went back to the same store to buy some food. Either it was for the person that was going to be looking after her property, I can't quite remember, but she went back to the store to buy some food, and she noticed that there was quite a long queue. So she stood in the queue waiting to pay for her groceries, etc., that she bought. And all of a sudden, she said there was a lot of enthusiasm and screaming going on in the store. And she noticed that some people were walking towards her, and the crowd were going mad. They didn't know why. So eventually, the management in the store stopped at her, and they said, my friend, you are number 55 in the queue. Your number has been drawn, and we are going to pay for everything that is in your your trolley. How's that? She was number 55. So she said she had number 55 going on in her brain, and that was a very interesting story how the law of sowing and reaping works. She just had such a kind heart. She paid for people. So what happened at the same store? She got her whole trolley paid for, cost her nothing. Now, coming back to my story about a few days to the end of the month. So once again, I remembered what she said. So I came to this place of surrender that whatever would be, would be. On Friday morning, the 31st of July, when I woke up, I had a quick look at my Facebook messages. And there was a message from on Facebook from a friend of mine that I grew up with at school, who now he's been living in America for many years. And I saw this message, and he said, Selwyn, I want to give you some money towards the Zoom meetings that you've started running, and for the videos that you've been posting, because obviously he had got some value from this. He said, I'm going to give you some money, and I'm going to use MoneyGram. How's that? I thought to myself, isn't this amazing? Because I made a total commitment to using my life to help other people to access and use their potential. My good friend that I went to school with, Granger, he saw my videos, and because I was open and honest also about my current situation, he made a decision that he was going to help me. And when did I get that message? On Friday, the 31st of July, when I actually had no money in my account. Isn't that exciting? Commitment. So what happened? A few days later, I got the message from him again that he'd used MoneyGram, etc. And he said that I must use the reference number and I must go and collect the cash. So I went to collect the cash, and I made a decision that because I knew I had a little bit of money coming in to my account on the 8th. So I made a decision when I collected the cash from a MoneyGram agent here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I got the cash. It was amazingly exciting. I deposited it into my account, and the first thing I did, I paid for my telephone bill and my internet connection, so at least I could stay connected. What I then did, I came home, and there's a little bit of money that got deposited into my account as well. So I then what I wanted to do, I went onto the Zoom platform, and at that point I was using the free Zoom application, which is amazing. If you sign up for Zoom, you can use that Zoom online platform to host meetings. And if you're doing a one-on-one meeting with people, you can spend as much time as you want doing a one-on-one meeting on the Zoom platform. Probably there's a limit of maybe 24 hours that you can use for one meeting at a time. But you can also host a group, but you can have a max if you have more than two people on a group Zoom call. you can have a maximum of 40 minutes. So that's a little bit of a challenge, because if you want to do a Zoom workshop for an hour, then you must stop and start the workshop again. So what I decided to do with the money, the balance of the money that my friend gave me, I then went onto the Zoom platform, and I wanted to pay up front for a 12-month Zoom contract. That would allow me to have up to 100 people on a Zoom meeting. But here's the benefit: the meeting that you can have up to 24 hours per meeting. So not that I would run a meeting for that amount of time, but instead of now being limited to a meeting of 40 minutes, I can now have a meeting where I can run a meeting for an hour, or up to 24 hours per meeting. So that was very exciting. So I thank my friend Granger that I went to school with. I thank you so much for making it possible for me, because with your money and the little bit of money that I got paid into my account on the 8th, I was able to pay my phone, my internet connection, and I was able to pay for an upfront contract for Zoom for 12 months. Now, this is amazing. I'd used Zoom before, and they give you a discount. If you pay, it's $149.90 US dollars. If you pay that's if you pay it up front for 12 months, and if you pay that amount of money, you get 2 months free, and it costs you $149.90. So I was excited. I came to the payment page, and then I saw something which for a moment I got discouraged a bit. I saw $149.90, and then I saw taxes, US taxes, for over $20. It was another $24. I thought, no ways, this can't be true, because I didn't have enough money to pay for the taxes. So then I quickly got chatting to one of the Zoom salespeople, and I said, what is the story about the taxes? I don't remember paying the taxes last year when I took out a 12-month contract. He said, no, there's always taxes. But listen to this. He said to me, but we're running an extra special at the moment, that if you just type in Zoom Cares in the coupon, right, in the discount coupon section, you can get an extra 20% discount on top of the special that they were running anyway. How exciting is this? So I worked it out. So by typing in the Zoom Cares coupon, I actually landed up paying less than the $149.90 that I was going to pay. I only paid $134 for the 12-month upfront contract, including the taxes. Isn't that exciting? Now, why am I sharing this with you? You see, because I made a commitment, I made a very firm commitment that I'm going to get my home business going in terms of the motivation of helping people to access their potential, of teaching them to take control of their energy and to have a better life. Because I made a firm commitment, and I don't mind what obstacles I have to go through. I don't mind, because that's the path I've chosen to go. So because I'm committed to the path, look what started to happen because of my commitment, and because I trust the process, and that by adding value, doing these live streams, posting, sharing inspirational quotations, helping people, I trust the law of sowing and reaping, that by sowing and helping people, the universe has my back, and I will be looked after. I know that. I trust that. So that's because that's what starts to happen when you are committed. Now, I've shared one of my favorite quotes. I'm going to share it again. And this quote I've read thousands of times. I almost don't know it off by heart. But I'm going to share it again, and I encourage you to download it and to read it over and over again. It's seriously magical. When you realize the power of commitment, you start to be willing to take risks. You start to set goals where you're out your comfort zone, because you know if you're totally committed, things start to happen for you. So this is the quote. It says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always in effectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. I have learnt a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. William Hutchison Murray. And then I looked up, what does the word providence mean? It means the protective care of God or of nature as a spiritual power, divine intervention, astral influence. So there's power in commitment. There's energetic power in that word commitment. When you make a commitment and you take action, you committed to a purpose in your life. You don't have all the answers. You don't know all the solutions or where this money's going to come from, but you make a firm commitment, then what starts to happen? The universe kicks in. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it your higher self, whatever you want to call it, but there's a force that kicks in on an unseen level that starts to help you. I had no clue that my friend Granger was going to message me on Friday morning, the 31st of July, and say, Selwyn, I'm going to help you. I want to give you some money. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I trusted that I'm taking action and I'm following my purpose and my commitment to helping mankind, to helping humanity so that there's more truth in the world. That's my commitment. Now, something else I quickly want to share with you as well that I've shared before, but it's so exciting. And this is something that I'm sharing from a book by As You Thinketh by James Allen. James Allen wrote this book. It was published in 1903, and I've read a lot of this book hundreds and hundreds of times, but I love what he says. He says, you are ruled by your outer circumstances only as long as you believe yourself to be a creature of outside conditions. That's so powerful. So we're controlled by outside conditions only as long as we believe that we are a creature of outside conditions. But he goes on to say, the moment you realize that you have creative power and that you control the hidden soil and seeds from which your outer conditions grow, you then become the rightful master of yourself. Isn't that a powerful, powerful principle? So when we realize that we have creative power and that we can control the hidden seeds of our inner being that affect our outer circumstances, when we start to realize that we have that power, that inner energy, that we can control and change our circumstances, then we become the rightful master of ourself. And my friend Johnny from America is right there. Hello, Johnny. Nice to see you. Johnny says James Allen can learn from you, my brother. Johnny, that's good thinking. Thank you for having that positive expectation of me. But I'm trying my best and to make a difference just as you are. And then this is what I've shared, my friends, before, and I want to share this again. This is so important. James Allen says, only through much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained. You know, we have mines in South Africa where the miners go down 4 kilometers. That's probably about 2.5 miles. That's like huge. That's so deep. And they go deep into the earth to mine and find the gold. Now imagine what kind of What kind of tools do they need to go 4 kilometers down into the earth to go and find the gold? There's a lot of searching and mining are needed. And James Allen says you can find every truth connected with your being if you will dig deep into the mine of your soul. You can find every truth connected with your being if you will dig deep into the mine of your soul. What is that saying? That's saying that we must use the tools and we must spend the time and we must have the commitment to dig deep into the mind of our soul. Is it easy? No, it's not. Because if we want to find the truth inside ourselves, it requires facing our pain from the past. We've got to be willing to dig up the conditioning and we've got to be willing to face it and learn how to deal with our pain from the past. We've got to learn to face and be open and accept the fact that we've got conditioning from the past we need to overcome. And we are all conditioned from our past. Our conditioning is so strong that I've shared in other videos of mine that's on YouTube how I had such a low self-worth when I was amongst people socially. My conditioning was so strong, it just came up and controlled me like a prison. I had no chance just to come up and control me. So our conditioning is very strong, and if we want to find the truth, which I believe is the essence in all of us, our truth is there. We've got to look for it, we've got to find it, we've got to be willing to face our conditioning, and we've got to be willing to do the work. It requires commitment. But then, this is what I like. This last paragraph I'm going to share with you. James Allen says here, more than in any other area of your life, is the absolute law that those that seek find, and to them that knock it shall be opened. For only by patience, practice, and ceaseless effort can one enter the door of the temple of knowledge. I love this. He says that for only by patience, practice, and ceaseless effort can one enter the door of the temple of knowledge. What is the temple of knowledge, my friends? The temple of knowledge is your essence, your higher self that I've shared before. The temple of knowledge is your truth. It's the awareness and the knowledge that you are pure love in your essence. It's the knowledge that each one of us are creative power. Each one of us can create the circumstances that we want to live in. If you look around at what's going on in life today with this coronavirus story, there is so much going on. And also, as I've mentioned in other of my videos, many times you'll see lately that I post on Facebook, I post what's going on in the world, and we need to expose the child trafficking. We need to expose the satanic child sacrifices that are taking place. Over 8 million children go missing every year. Why is this? What is the cause? What is the root cause of all of this? And I want to explain to you that when I expose this stuff on Facebook, and there's many other people that are exposing it, the reason I'm doing that is we have to become aware of what's really going on in the world. And in previous of my videos, I've shared that all of us, everything is really about energy. Everything is really about energy. And after working on myself for 30 years, and I've got a long way to go, but I'm so grateful working through my pain. I've spent thousands of hours, and I'm grateful to people that have helped me as well. But I've spent thousands of hours, and I came to realize many years ago that the essence of us is energy, and our journey, our purpose, part of our purpose in life is to learn to become consciously aware of our energy and to learn to take control, to own our power, and to learn to consciously work with our energy and to invest it in the things we want to see manifesting in our life. Now, if you asked me in my 20s, if you spoke to me about energy, I wouldn't have had a clue of what you're talking about. I wouldn't have had a clue. So this knowledge came to me years and years after I started working myself at the age of 25. And this is my purpose and my mission. I want to teach as many people as I can in the world to take control, to uncover the power that is our essence, and to learn to take control of our power. This is my purpose. And it starts by setting goals. It starts by using affirmations. It starts by reading positive, inspiring messages. It starts by doing self evaluation, examining your life. What are you happy about in your life? What are you not happy about? What habits have you got that you want to change? What conditioning keeps coming up in your life that's blocking you from knowing your true potential? So this is part of the journey that I started on doing all this work, the mind work, and slowly but surely, I started getting in touch with my inner being. And this is what I uncovered, and I want to share this with you. And many people, when they watch my videos on YouTube, and they hear about me talking about this, many people are not going to like what I'm going to share. They're not, because their conditioning is going to come up and it's going to block them. And at times, I also was a little bit reluctant to what I had learnt in my life about energy. And this is what I'm going to share with you. I'm not going into detail because I've covered this in a couple of the videos on YouTube. And I really encourage you to go and watch these videos on YouTube that I created. If you type in Selwyn Levy on YouTube, these videos will come up, and you'll go and learn about my story over the last 30 years, what I uncovered. But this is what I uncovered in a nutshell. I uncovered that one of the pathways back to our higher self and to the temple of knowledge is to learn to uncover the power of our sexual energy. This is what I uncovered. And what I learned is that we need to learn to to experiencing sexual pleasure is very important. It's very important in life. So the first thing is we need to go and have a look at our beliefs around sexual pleasure. Many times you don't even want to talk about it because of our conditioning. There's a lot of shame and pain and humiliation around sexual pleasure. Even in my own life, when I started doing this work about 14 years ago, I started uncovering this energy inside myself that was linked to sexual pleasure. And when I started working on my sexual energy and using it, I realized there were feelings of shame, feelings of humiliation that came up. But thank God for the tools that I had, and I started working through this. But what I uncovered, my friends, and I encourage you to do research, go and watch my videos, I realized that one of the keys that can help us to the pathway back to our higher self, to the temple of knowledge, to the pure energy that we are, the creative power, the compassion, the love, and to taking control of our life, is that we have to learn to work with our sexual pleasure, our sexual energy, and we've got to learn to channel it. We've got to learn to channel it, and there's videos that as I've explained, it's there for you. I encourage you, go and have a look at my videos, and if you learn to work with your sexual energy and you learn to channel it, one thing I can assure you, if you're in a relationship, you're married or you're in a relationship, I promise you, you will experience a connection with your spouse or your partner or partners on an energetic level that you've never ever experienced before. You will experience intimacy and blissfulness that is mind blowing. I promise you. Because when you learn to take control and to channel and work with your sexual energy, you basically tapping into your inner essence. And if you're in a relationship or with your spouse and you together you work on your sexual energy and you develop this incredible energetic bond, you start to grow spiritually on a level that is mind blowing. So I encourage you to go and watch my videos on this. There's a video, The Pathway Back to Enlightenment, on YouTube, where I covered my journey over the last 30 years. In fact, I posted it on my Facebook page. And I encourage you, don't allow your conditioning to block you when I start talking about sexual energy. There is power and magic and beautiful times ahead when you really learn to work with this power, this energy. I really believe that sexual energy is our life force. And I'm going to do, when I've got a chance, I'm going to do a video where I'll go and find all the resources in the different religions that refer to this. But this information is actually hidden. We're not taught about it. And it's very important to teach our kids to take control of their power, to have a good self-worth. When you access your self-image, when you access your true essence, you start to feel the true abundant value that is your essence. And when children grow up with this knowledge, when we teach them this, they won't be influenced to take drugs, or to watch porn, or to be influenced by other people. The reason we have pedophiles in the world, the reason we have governments that are not there for the people, the reason we have satanic rituals going on, and this is being exposed, it's coming out in the open because there's more truth in the world now than there was before. The reason we have all of this, reason we have addictions, and I'm not talking about the chemical side of people's brains that are maybe born that, but I'm not talking about that, the medical side. I'm talking about energetically. The reason we have all of this going on, pedophilia, gender-based violence, governments that are not there for the people. The reason, my dear friends, we have this going on, this is my belief, this is my opinion, is that people are not in control of their power, their inner power. Because when you are in control of your inner power and you get to know your true essence, you realize you are a being of unbelievable value. Your being is pure love. Your being is pure abundant consciousness, kindness, compassion. And when you're coming from that place, you will only want to do good to other people. When people in leadership are coming from their true power, their inner power, not controlling other people, I'm talking about your inner power. When you're coming from being in touch with your inner power and you know your true essence and your value, you will only want to do good and give and help and protect and encourage others. That's it. So whenever we see people controlling others, whenever we see governments not putting their foot down and not making people accountable for crime. We know that 8 million children go missing every year, and yet it's not spoken about by government. Why is that? Why is that? Because, and this video that I'm creating now is going to be taken down. When enough people watch it, YouTube and Facebook will take it down. But we have to be aware that there's a group called the Illuminati going on in the world. They are controlling the world. Thank God there is more truth now coming into the world, which is stopping them. It's starting to stop them, but they are responsible for all the child trafficking, for the satanic child sacrifices. It's crazy what's going on in the world. And the reason this is happening because they have chosen to allow themselves to be controlled by the dark energy, right? And many of the governments in the world are controlled and part of the Illuminati, the New World Order, and I'm being open about it. That's why I'm encouraging you. And I'm saying that the solution to all of this, we must stand together. We have to stand together as humanity and stop this, but that's not good enough. What we also have to do, each one of us have to do the work, and we have to go and take control of our inner power, and we have to find our true essence. Because when we find our true essence and we know the divinity that is our essence, we will only come from a place of love. We'll only come from a place of strength where we want only the good for humanity. And I'm saying that part of that is to learn to work with our sexual energy that will lead us to our true essence. That's what I've uncovered over the last 30 years. So my beautiful friends, my friend Johnny that's on this call, we had a one-on-one. Johnny's in America. He's another school friend of mine, and he's got a wonderful attitude. He was inspiring me by the work he's done on himself. And I encourage you, my friend, share this video. Share this video. Go and watch. Go and watch the YouTube videos that I have on sexual energy. I promise you it will liberate you. You will experience inner joy. You will experience freedom. You will experience inner power. You will overcome all your limitations from the past, all your pain and suffering, not having a good self-worth, procrastinating, being jealous of other people, all the negative conditioning we have from the past. I'm saying to you, if you learn to understand and work with your sexual energy, first of all, you'll experience the most amazing blissfulness that you've ever experienced in your life. And secondly, you'll learn to get in touch with your power, and you will take control of your own life in a way you've never done before. Never ever before. And I know that you're contributing to the world. I know you're working on yourself, because most people that are my friends are doing that. I know that. But I'm encouraging you, my friends, go and uncover the power of your sexual energy, and don't allow your conditioning to come up and block you. I had a look at one of the comments that someone passed when they watched that video. I don't even know how much time they spent watching that, but if I actually shared with you, they were just the way they were accusing me of just being a bad person. It's unbelievable. All that was happening, their conditioning was coming up because what I was sharing that I've discovered. And here's the thing: I'm totally committed to sharing my truth. Now, if at times, sometimes I feel a little bit, I say to myself, Selwyn, should you really be sharing this stuff about sexual energy? And you know what? Whenever I feel that way, all that's happening is that I'm not in control of my inner power. I have to share my truth, just like each one of you have to share your truth, because that's why I'm alive. This is what I've uncovered, and that's what I'm doing. So I encourage you, my friends, remember the secret power of commitment. I encourage you, take the time. What do you really want in your life? Go and find your purpose in life. It takes time. There's a video I created that will help you to uncover to get in touch with what you want out of life. But here's a few questions. What do you really want out of your life? What would you do with more time? What do you want to do with more money? How do you want to contribute? How do you want to enrich your family's life more? How do you want to help more people that are suffering? You've got to go and do the work. What would you really like to do that you've never done before? What are some things you'd like to have? Ask yourself these questions and keep doing the work. Keep listening to positive ideas. Keep saying your positive affirmations. Keep doing your self evaluation questions, because I promise you, all the little bit that you do it pays off. And sometimes what happens, we turn a corner and we gain more insights. We gain a little insight that is life changing because we paid the price. And remember what I shared with you before. One of my other favorite quotes, is by Bruce Barton. And Bruce Barton, there's a quote that he said, "Sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things." Isn't that amazing? I shared in my one video, I, I, at the age of 25, I was driving downtown, and I used to teach tennis. I used to visit a friend of mine. He was selling furniture. And I remember that day I was driving downtown for some reason, and something in my gut said to me, go and visit Dave. I don't know. That wasn't my intention going downtown. And I'm so grateful I followed that inner voice. I was on my way downtown. I parked my car, and for some reason, I just followed that gut feel. I went into Dave's shop, and Dave saw me. There was a guy sitting next to him, and as a joke, Dave said to this guy, he said, "You see that guy?" He was pointing to me. He said, "You need him to get a full. You need him to work a full day because he's teaching tennis and only working half a day." So I approached Dave and the guy sitting there, and the guy asked me what I do. I said, "No, I teach tennis." And this guy Dennis pulled out a letter from one of his customers, and this guy was George Rudman. Now, George Rudman taught me tennis when I was about 17, 18. Was a coach. He taught me tennis, and I read what George said about this motivational course that Dennis was trying to sell my friend Dave. So George Rudman, the coach, had bought this course, and I read what he said about the course, how it worked for him. And because I played tennis, I was coaching at the time, I said to this guy, Dennis, come and see me. I'm interested in the motivational course. And I spent 13 and a half years at that company that helped me tremendously, Success Motivation Institute. That was the start of my journey of helping me change my self-image and becoming more spiritual. Now, this is the point. When I got that gut feel in my tummy, when I was driving in my car, something said, go and visit Dave. You know, if I didn't follow that gut feel and just park my car and go and visit Dave, maybe I would never have joined that motivational company that I spent 13 and a half years with. So little things have unbelievable consequences. Every time you pick up a book and you read a little paragraph, or every time you write down all the things you're grateful for in your life, every time you pick up your little file and you start reviewing your goals, all your goals, I've shared with you, I've got my file with all my goals. Every time you do that, what is happening? You are nurturing those seeds of positivity that are helping you to uncover more and more of your potential. So Johnny, nice to see you on the live stream. I encourage you all, my friends, share this video, hit that like button and share it with as many people as you can. Let's get the information out. You never know who watches this video. You may share this with someone. You know, I was seeing some of the statistics. I can't believe it. They're teens. There's teens. Something about 1 in 7 teens or something commit suicide. Why are they doing that? They're doing that because they don't understand who they are. They don't understand how beautiful they are in their essence and that they can take control of their life and they can create a future for themselves. So, my friends, we'll see you again. Please share this video with as many people as you can. Let's get this video going viral. Imagine if Imagine if 1 million people watch this video and 1 million more people in the world start to work on their self-image, they start working on their goals program. What kind of impact would that have on the world? Have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and we will see you soon. And remember, you are a beautiful, beautiful person, and I know that you're contributing to the world. Keep it up, and I know that we can all do even more.